Welcome back, everybody. So today our project is going to be recovering our front seats for our 70 camper there that we're restoring. Here's the passenger seat. This one is a little bit different. It's simpler than the driver's seat. It don't have a back on it, but the same concept. This is our driver's seat. And what we have here, the driver's seat basically has an adjustment for the backrest, whereas the passenger seat is fixed. So we've got this to turn here. Now, this rod got bent somehow, so we'll have to straighten that, but this is how this works. And adjust your backrest. So we'll be taking that off. I'll take all the covering off and we'll clean up and paint our frames and then put the new covers on. So that's the plan of attack for today. It's not a hard job, just takes a little bit of time. I'm just trying to think of anything else that you should probably know, but let's get started, I guess, from there. What I guess we'll do first, it looks like we've got a clip here. But if we take out, that whole rod will come off. That's my guess, at least. It hasn't been that long since I've done one of these, but don't always remember. I've got my little bin over here. I'm putting all my hardware in. And then it looks like we've got a Phillips screw back here. Now, as always, take a picture or something to make sure you know how to put it back together. I've got a picture from the last one I did, in case I forget. That's going to free this up. Yep, not until we take our back off. I'm going to do, from the factory, they have like a rivet in here that holds the backrest and the bottom together. I'm going to drill that out. We'll drill that out and we'll end up putting a bolt in there to put it back together. It'll make your life so much easier to take it apart. I mean, you can see how hard this would be to get these seat covers on with them together. So let me go grab a drill. Okay. I'm going to start out with a 1/8 inch here for a pilot hole. We're in there quite a ways. Let's flip it over, get our pilot hole on this side. Let's see if that's enough. Let's go up to should be. I think we're through. Enough to get it off. Let's see if we can get that out of there. Or if it's going to make us drill the whole thing out. That's what it looks like. Oh, maybe it's moving. got her. We should be able to get the whole thing right off. And here's this setup. We took that Phillip out of there. So that's how this is. It's basically threaded inside there. So when this turns, it pulls it in and out. Put that on our pile of stuff. Set this backrest aside. So holding the back part of this on, we've got a couple little finger stabbers here. We got some finger stabbers up there, and I call them finger stabbers because they will cut you. They're real sharp. You'll see this as soon as I take them off. It just seems like no matter how hard you try, they will get you. So we're going to carefully bend these up. We don't want to ruin them. If your seats have been done in the past, they may break. They may break even now. Then we have to fix them by welding some new tabs on because we need those to hold our upholstery on. I like to use the original method that Volkswagen used. You know, some people will somehow use hog rings. Now there's also you can see there's a piece of wire here, and that goes through the edge of this seat, and that kind of helps. When you pull it, you'll pull them tight. The new seat cushions are going to end up having a string in there instead of a piece of wire. But I'll cut that first. That'll allow us to finger pricker there too on the end that I missed. As you can see how that wire goes through here, that helps. So when you hook it, it keeps the whole thing level. Now, it doesn't look like there is some wire here that must be pulling this in. Yep, in two spots. That's what's holding that. Let's see here. We're gonna snip that. There's our cushion. Or not terrible shape, but we're going to replace it with a foam one. So that's our frame. So I'm going to go through and sandblast and clean it. Might even use the laser cleaner. This won't fit real well in the sandblasting cabinet. So that's our bottom. Here's our backrest. Some similar concepts. Finger pokers here. Yeah, that did the trick. That gets that little part off, and then coming from the front is the same thing. And now the difference here, instead of having a wire running through there, they've got like a little metal rod. And you need to keep that metal rod, because you're going to be putting this back in your new upholstery. So don't forget that that's in there. And let's remember that the long one goes to on the backrest. And just to make life easier, let's just cut. Backrest foam is actually worse than the bottom, which is kind of weird. Usually the bottom from sitting on it gets pretty messed up. So that's our backrest. Now the same concept is what we will end up doing on our passenger seat. We'll take all of our hardware off. We'll drill out our rivets and do the same thing. So I won't bore you with that part. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these seat frames up, and then we can paint them. So let me clean them up and paint them, and then we'll come back and we'll put the new upholstery on, new padding and upholstery. Okay? See you in a while. Got them all laser cleaned up. Gonna wipe them down with wax and grease remover. Then we'll go into the paint booth and spray some primer and some black paint on them. So we got our frames cleaned, painted. Now we're going to start putting our covers on. First thing is our foam. Our foam is going to go on here. Now, what I like to do is I don't like this metal on our foam. So they do sell it. They call it sizzle pad. But all it is a piece of material basically. So I've got these, Chris gets all these blankets from the nursing home where she works, the old stuff. So I'm just going to cut a piece of that and I'm going to put that on here to help protect my foam. You don't necessarily have to, but it sure doesn't hurt. That's how I look at it. Every little bit from wear and tear to tear into that foam. You know, I guess the horsehair that they used from the factory survived. That just seems a little bit more solid. And we got Tom down there playing with my rest of my blanket, buddy, eh? Say hi to everybody. Little stinker. Him and Thunder are my little helpers. We also got George over there. That's the boss. The monster beetle. So I really shouldn't be messing around. Get my yearly review. So I'm just gonna take and spray a little bit of this spray glue on here. Just to help hold this on. Like that. Let's give her a little bit more down here. Now the one I'm doing here first is the passenger side backrest. Happens to be the one that I grabbed first. And just to help holding this on, I'm also going to put a little bit of glue on here. Just to kind of help hold it in place as we're trying to put our cover on. That's our padding. Said this will help protect and we got our, this is our cover. This one had metal rods we saved. This particular one had one up each side. These in. Take your time. Sometimes you're going to have strong fingers too. There. That's centered. These are just about all the way up there. Now what you can do to help, I'm not going to do it on my passenger one here because the back is pretty much open. But you can take some plastic painter drop down sheets or whatever, and you can cover this with plastic. And what that'll help, this stuff kind of gets caught on the rubber, or the foam I should say, a little bit. So when we're doing like our driver's seat where we got to pull this whole thing down, that plastic will make it slipperier and it'll make this cover go on much nicer. But we've only got that little bit on this seat. So I'm not going to do it on this seat. Now what I want to do too, before I guess I go too much I'm gonna warm this up. And guess what? I just noticed that I messed up. My metal rod is not supposed to be up here. It's supposed to be on the bottom on this seat. Good thing I thought of that. Caught that. We all make mistakes. All right, let's try that. Stand this up. Just work our way down here. Get this up here. Just like this. Try to make sure you're keeping your cover centered on the foam so our welting there stays nice and straight on the edge. Same with up on top here. Still got a pretty decent here, but this is a little bit low here yet. Let's get this scissors out of the way. That's better. Look pretty centered on here. Top looks good. So now it's where you got to have strong fingers. You're going to need to stretch it. So you want to find out where your center is. So we're going to have to, we've got to pull this all the way up here and hook this. Not an easy task. I think I'm going to warm this material up a little bit more to help it stretch a little bit better. Let's see if that's enough. Now, it does help if you got another person maybe. But boy, this is going to be fun. Oh. So close. So close. Let's see if we can get this way a little bit more. Oh, I just can't get enough. Got her. Whew. And I got lucky and I'm centered. So that's a plus. Our rod isn't centered though. Yep, I'm gonna have to pop it off. That rod's got to come over a little bit more. It's not going to catch this finger poker. In this case, it's arm poker. Comes off easy. Okay, let's see if we can do her again. Where did I poke through? Right there before. I'm going to try to hit the same spot. Looks better. We'll catch. Bend that way just a little bit. There we go. There we got it. I'll give you a workout. Yep, pretty good there. Now we can do our top and put it away. I'm gonna bend these up a little bit. Okay, now I want to make sure my seam is centered. Looks like I've got to go this way a little bit. Yep. Come on, poke through there. Sure, you'll poke my hand and arm, but okay, and we can get our sides. It's good, these are going to be a lot nicer than the bottom was. Okay. Like, I think we're gonna have to do a little snip in there. But now we're gonna take and just tap our pokers down. See why those are important. If they break off, you've got to put something on there. You got to fix them. Let's get you on the other side of that spring. Not sure why on the passenger seat they didn't cover the whole back compared to the driver's seat. So that's essentially this one. Looking pretty good there. We look very consistent down here. I'm trying to decide if I want to trim this off here. I think I'm gonna very carefully. That'll help that go that way. It helps that sit there. I like that better. That's a good call. And this sits a lot nicer now. This side. There, that looks nicer. Not going to typically see it. Our rod is sticking out here a little bit, so I'm just going to pound that way a little bit. There. Now all I have to do with this seat, I didn't clean them up yet, but I've got our hardware. There's our latch that's going to go on there to hold it. This is the hook, and there's another part on the bus, and then these little stoppers screw in there, but I've got to clean these up first. But that's putting the cover on. 1 down, 3 to go. Okay, let's tackle our backrest for the driver's side. Let's get our sizzle pad stuff that we're using. Put our cushion on. Okay. So we're just putting enough on there, it holds us in place as we're trying to pull that cover on. Okay, on this one, oops, I don't like how this is. Let's see here. Get down there a little bit, there we go. This one I am going to put some plastic on here. In this case, I've just got a small garbage can, garbage bag I should say. And I'll trim it once I get it on there. But we'll do the same thing. I'm going to take and glue this edge down a little bit better so it don't peel up when we're trying to I don't want it to get bunched up like this somehow or other. You take your time, it's definitely something you can do. It's really, hopefully it looks easy, and it is, really. I mean, I know I've done it many times, but it's straightforward. Okay, we got our rods to put in. You know, I think I'm gonna wait to put them rods in until we get this on. That's gonna help us out, I think. So let's heat this up. Hopefully that's enough. It's warm, it'll help, that's for sure. Sure all of our corners are out. Okay. Let's see what's our easiest way to do this. We're gonna stick it over the edge there. Get it started. Make sure I'm pretty much centered here. Slowly work it down. Set our back. See, my seam is way over here on this one, and this side is this way, so our back has got to go over some. Pull up here. Okay, I'm gonna put my rods in here. They're short. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try now. Still gonna make this look easy. So I can. All right. Now, what can we do with this mess? Like that. Got equal amounts, so that's good. Just trying to get this to lay in there nicer. Basically notching it around our frame. This put a little slice. There. Better. Now I'll see when I get the seat together. Maybe, it depends on how it looks, maybe I'll take some black thread and I'll stitch this together just so it looks better. I'm sure that's what I will do. Yeah, that's what I'll do, and then that'll look nice. Taking just a couple stitches to hold that together. All right, we got 2 backrests done. And a lot of, when this starts to get warm and shrink a little bit, some of these little wrinkles will come out. But I'll have to clean this up. It looks like there's some sticky glue on here. All right, let's tackle another one. I got the passenger side bottom. These aren't the right bottoms. Well, what we're going to do, let's get it, we're going to have to modify them. I guess it's better to be too big than too small. You can see how much bigger they are. I ordered for a 70 bus, and even I don't know what the heck these are for. There's no way they're even for a newer bus. I just did a 74, and that, I don't know. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim it down the size. That's about all I can do, because I sure don't feel like waiting for another set, and I'm not sure what these are for anyway, if I were to keep them for some other project. That's how much too big we were. So now I'm just going to take the spray glue and we're going to glue that on there. Let's give it a little time to tack. What you gonna do, eh? Always something, and you know what? You just gotta deal with it. Yeah, I'm pissed. But all right, crisis averted there. heat up our, as I sit here heating that up, I just even wonder if this big down piece is supposed to be on the back of this, but we'll see. So anyway, remember we had wire on our original cover. Here's the string they put in there. So you want to unhook it from there so it's not lost. And then we're going to work our pretty good. We're centered. Now this one didn't have, this one doesn't get a bar in there, a rod. I don't know why it's got a point there, but this we just need to stretch. That's the center right there. Now to taunt this up, that's what these strings are for. When this pulls, that'll pull all that. I kind of like the wire idea better, but so from the factory they had the wire going through these, and you know I think the factory had a piece of wire going through the back here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Pull this. Knock our pokers down. That's going to help pinch my string in there so it'll be easier for me to tie my knot. There. Trim these off. Let's see how it looks. Looks good to me. Without that wire, yeah, that could pull up a little bit, but that's gonna be behind anyway. Looks good. One more to go. Now we can put our backrest on. Trying to think of what the easiest way is going to be to do this. Maybe like this. So what I have, got some carriage bolts. That's what I'm going to use to hold our backrest on. I know this has got to pop in here. Now the carriage bolt is going to probably spin, but that's okay. We don't need these real tight, obviously, because this back moves. And what I'm going to do, just so they don't back out with nuts, I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on them, because I don't have, that way once they're tightened down a little bit, they won't come off. I suppose I could have went and got some big flathead screws that had a screw end on. That's what I did on the passenger side, but they were a lot smaller and I had some. Okay. There. We got one more screw to put in. Our screw back here. What? Let's see here. Okay. Now we can put this beast in. Let me go bring you over here. I've already put our passenger one in. You had all the hardware on there. See what we're caught on. Oh, there we go. There. There. We got our seats done. Scooby's coming along good. I've got some curtains that came today. And then I can start putting the cabinets in. So, good progress. So I hope this helps. I know it's a long video, and I had a few little trip ups here. Partially my fault, partially supplier's fault with our foam pads. But please comment below. Love to hear from you. Please subscribe. That's a big one. Helps me a lot. Like this video, and I'll keep bringing you more. Maybe we'll do one just to show you the cabinets going in so you can kind of see the progress. All right, everybody, take care.